Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing this Matrova Zeffiro. Disclaimer, this is a early unit and this pad was sent out to me but will not change my thoughts or opinions on the review. But let's get into the packaging. So the packaging was a rectangular box and inside you get a sleeve, so you can kind of get rid of the box and still have the sleeve for storage if you want to. The pad does come rolled. You will have to flatten it. It won't stay flat right away. What I did is I just put a glass pad on top of it for 2 hours and it's perfectly flat. But let's get into these sizes. You get 450 x 400, 490 x 420, which is the one on my desk right now, and then 500 x 500, which gives you a little more vertical room, and that gets you a more of a square shape. And the 500 x 500 is the one I will recommend, and I'll get into that soon. This is a custom print. In terms of the print quality, I think this is really well. It came out great. By the face, it is a little dark, but I think overall this is a really solid print. You really get the details of the sky and the clouds and on the suit. Solid print. Probably the best cloth print I've had. I mean, it's only the second cloth print I've had, but it's really good. The stock one will come in yellow though, but you can just give them like a custom color code and you could get it in any color. In terms of the base, so they don't list on the site and they didn't tell me what type of base this is, but I did hear people on Discord saying this is a PU base. In terms of like stickiness, it will not move while you're gaming. Like, it's pretty good and you can adjust it pretty easily. I wouldn't say this is like the best base I've ever used, but it's pretty on par with like artisan bases. It's a solid base, not the best, but it's completely fine, good enough. No complaints about the base here. In terms of the firmness, so this is a very firm pad. It feels super firm. You definitely can like push into it a little bit if you try, but to me, this is like the firmest cloth pad I've ever used. It's not going to feel like a glass pad, but the pad does feel very hard and gives you a very different experience than a lot of other cloth pads does, and it's really unique. And I still prefer soft pads, but I definitely really enjoyed trying this. If you might have like, for me on some firm pads, my wrist gets a little uncomfortable. I didn't really have that too much on here, but if your wrist does get uncomfortable on certain mouse pads, I would recommend getting a soft pad. But again, I think this is a really unique firm pad, and for people who like firm pads, you are going to like this. In terms of the surface itself, this is a pretty fast surface. I'd compare it to somewhat similar to like a Raiden in terms of speed. It's not the fastest pad ever, but I'd say compared to all the pads I've used, I would give it like about an 8 out of 10 in terms of speed. It's pretty fast. It's just not the fastest. In terms of skate variants, so I've used 4 different skates on this. These are unusual weight pink foxes. These are pretty fast. You get like a tiny bit of stopping power. The fastest skates I've used on here are these stock ATK dot skates. Like, they're pretty fast. There's no stopping power at all. And then I've also used, I have on my OP18K, I have other Omni Speed skates, which also feel super smooth and great. And then I've also used some control skates. These are X-Ray Pad Obsidian Pro Airs. These are going to give you a more controlled experience. I don't recommend using control dots on this pad. It just ruins the experience of the pad and makes it feel like kind of muddy. Like, if you're buying this pad, you should be buying it for a speed experience. I wouldn't recommend it if you want a balanced or control experience. It will be best as a speed pad and using it like one. In terms of the X and Y axis, so a lot of people told me to flip it to the Y axis to get a better experience. So I personally liked the X-axis better, but from what I literally heard this like 10 minutes before I started filming this review, is that because of the way the stitching is, that's why it was like that. Not the stitching, the fabric for the surface, but they're changing it back. So the current Y surface I'm using right now is going to be the X-axis on the pad if you buy it right now. I probably explained that terribly, but that's why I recommended earlier to get a 500x500 version, because I liked both versions of this pad where you flip it or use it like this. So if you get a 500x500 pad, the size is going to be the same whether you flip it or not, so you get to try both. I would say the what I have it at right now is slightly smoother, and then the x-axis that is on the one I have currently, which is going to be the y-axis for you, has a slight bit of texture. You can't feel it too much, but it's just a little less smooth, and I just prefer this one. But again, if you get the 500x500 size, you kind of get to try both, so it really doesn't matter too much. In terms of in-game tracking, I had no issues. I was playing to my best ability. It was great for tracking. I'm not going to talk more about that because it's good. There's nothing to talk about. In terms of price, this does come in between 30 and 35 depending which size you get. Overall, should you buy this? If you're looking for a firm speed pad that's not too expensive, I could absolutely recommend this. I had zero issues with this pad. It's a great budget option. I haven't tried many pads in this price point. Most of the pads I've tried are more expensive, but of the pads I've tried in this price point, this one might be the best. I think this is a really exceptional pad. It's a nice fast pad. It has this really unique hardness to it, at least that I haven't tried myself. I think the fact that you can get a custom design on it as well is great, and yeah, I can absolutely recommend this pad. I'll leave a link below, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.